being here. As you know, the fact that you are here on a Monday night, Garland Jarman from Creighton University from Omaha, Nebraska is here to talk about applying to medical school, the 4 years in medical school, and what makes Creighton special. And so we are very appreciative to have him here, and we would just love you guys to give your attention to him. He's going to speak on the school for, let's say, like 30, 45 minutes, and then from there he's going to open up for questions. And yeah, so just hold on to your questions. If you need to write them down or type them on your phone to help you remember, that's good. So everybody, please give a round of applause.
I know I'm going to go against what he said. I apologize. If you have questions while we're going through, please stop.
Okay.
Because my goal is definitely, we're going to talk about the application process, Creighton University today, but there might be some specific things that I missed that you want to make sure that we talk about today. Raise your hand, stop me, go, Garland, we talk about this, and we handle that today. Okay, so thanks again for coming. Let me talk to you guys for the next hour. Please bear with me as I'm moving my voice a little bit. I was meeting with students this morning, so I kind of use my voice a little bit too much today. But we are Creighton University. I represent Creighton University and the Director of Admissions there. For a little longer, I'm transitioning to a new position with the school in May. But been at the school for 10 years, did my master's and undergrad there, so I can tell you a lot about the institution, what's going on in Omaha, Nebraska. We are a Jesuit Catholic institution, which is very important to us. There's 20 different Jesuit Catholic institutions in the United States, and we love being that part of that consortium of schools. Schools close to you guys would be Loyola Marymount, sorry, as I got blank. Loyola Marymount up in LA, University of San Francisco, up in San Francisco, and Santa Clara, in San Jose, Santa Clara area. Someone said USD, maybe? Not Jesuit. No. I always get, everybody's always asking, is University of Portland Jesuit too, and it's not. But they're both Catholic schools, and they're great schools too, so we wouldn't mind them being part of this. There's 4 different Jesuit medical schools, so if you like what you hear today, I definitely encourage you to look at all 4 of us. We're the only 4 Catholic medical schools in the United States also. Okay? There used to be 6, and now there's 4. So, the ones to look at, Creighton, St. Louis University in St. Louis, Missouri, easy. Loyola Chicago in Chicago, Illinois, and then Georgetown in Washington, D.C. So, it's cool to be part of that group of schools too. We are a mid-sized Jesuit school. We only have about 8,000 students on our campus. About 5,000 of those students are undergraduates, 3,000 are professional and graduate students. Professional schools are really important to us. It's important for you to know this, that when you come to Creighton, you're not just going to school with medical students. You will see students from the School of Dentistry, pharmacy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing on our campus too. Actually, nursing and pharmacy is in the same building that we are. So you will see students from other professional schools, which is really nice to know when you come. We are located on the main campus, which is a beautiful campus. We are just located outside of downtown Omaha. I got a lot of questions today about what Omaha is like. Omaha is, of course, a lot smaller than the San Diego area, and yes, we don't have water. So, we have the river, it's nothing like the ocean. There's no beach, sorry, this is not us. But we like Omaha. It's a city of about 900,000 people in the metropolitan area. Great, easy living in Omaha, great cost of living, great school systems. I know you don't worry about that right now, but if you're buying, you have kids, we worry about that. So, it's just a nice place to raise a family, great place to go to school. Due to the fact that we are the largest city in Nebraska, tons of activities for our students to get involved in, ranging from going downtown to our restaurant district and our bar district, to going to a theater event, going to a concert. We're a Division I school, so our students go to our soccer games and our basketball games. Those are our 2 largest sports and our best sports at Creighton. The soccer team's ranked number 10 in the nation right now. We just beat Butler, which is nice, because they were ranked number 9, and we're in the conference with them, so that's awesome. So it's a lot of fun. And since you're on the main campus, you can take advantage of those activities too while you're there. The school of medicine as a whole, we're not a big school of medicine, we're about a medium-sized school of medicine too. We bring a class of 154 medical students each year. 152 of those students are MD students, and then 2 MD PhD students. We just started our MD PhD program 2 years ago. So our first class came in 2015. Next class 2016, and then we're going with it. So we're pretty excited about bringing that program back to campus. We haven't had it in over 6 years. So we're really excited that the dean brought that back. Our students come from all over the United States. If you look on page 3, I'm kind of visual, so forgive me as we go back and forth in this book. Page 3, you can see the different states that were represented in the class. This is the student body that graduated in 2016. So you can see students from mostly Midwestern, Western states, where our students come from. We're still working on our East Coast population, mostly Midwestern, Western states. And that works out really well for us. Because we're a private school, we don't have a affinity for one state over another. We look at schools. So there are certain schools that are really important to us, and we want to make sure that we have a good relationship with those schools, so we go visit them and try and enroll those students from those schools, because we feel that, for instance, students from here, very similar community that we have at Creighton, you feel comfortable on our campus and thrive on our campus. So we don't look at specific states, we look at schools. That works out really well for us. So going through the curriculum for Creighton University, if you turn to page 9, and we also have on our website now, you can see the goals of the curriculum. Oh, excuse me. Page 7. You can see the goals of the curriculum and what we do. Ours is a traditional curriculum, really, 2+2, so 2 years of classroom work and then 2 years of clinical experiences. You will have clinical experiences in your second year, okay? Your first year is basic sciences. You're going to go through anatomy. We do dissect cadavers and anatomy. You have about between 5 to 8 students at a table for anatomy. You'll have molecular biology, you'll have pharmacology, you'll have infectious disease, some basic science courses that you need, and we're going to apply those sciences to the body in the second year. In addition to basic sciences in the first year, we're also going to do basic clinical skills. Now, when you come in, all students have a variety of clinical skills. There's some students who've been nurses, maybe they've been CNAs, maybe they've been medical assistants, EMTs, and they have great clinical experience. They've worked with patients, they've done vitals, they've done history, so on and so forth. Then some students they just haven't had that opportunity. We understand that. So our goal is to make sure that everyone's at the same place at the end of the M1 year. So for some of it's remedial, for some of you guys, for some of it's brand new for you. And our goal is to make sure you all have the same clinical skills set by the time you finish the M1 year. In addition to working with clinical skills, you're going to be working with our practice patients in our clinical assessment center to work on those skills and also to work on communication skills. It's not just about knowing how to use your clinical skills properly, but also how do you communicate with patients. You have to think about when you start your practice or you start at a new health group, you have to build your practice. So you might be having patients being sent to you, you have never met them, you're knocking on the door. How do you walk in and form a relationship with that patient so he or she feels comfortable with you? Feel comfortable telling you what's wrong with them. There might be cultural issues, there might be language issues, language barriers. How do you overcome those things so that you can assist your patient? Okay, we're going to talk about that for our communication skills part of that too. Very important. It's pretty easy to be able to do a physical, but it's even better when you can actually connect with your patient. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in M1 year. M2 year, you're going through the different systems of the body. We do one system at a time. It's very in-depth. You're going to know that system in and out. And this is really going to help you prepare for step 1. In addition to that, we want to make sure that you're using and honing those clinical skills that we gave in the first year. So in order to do that, you do a program called Longitudinal Clinic. Once every other week for either a full afternoon or full morning, you're with a physician, your mentor for that year. And they're going to guide you you're working with patients, and they're going to be almost like shadowing you to make sure that they can give you advice, they can coach you, things you can ask to ask different questions better. There are ways to communicate with patients from their experiences. You'll have that during the second year through a Longitudinal Clinic. Yep.
That only lasted the second year, or that goes through your last 3 years?
The question, that's only your second year, because in your third year and fourth year, you're doing rotations. Third year is rotations, fourth year is rotations in the area of medicine and practice. Good question. So she was asking, does that last through? And that's only the second year. Third year, you're going to your rotations. At the end of your second year, you'll take step 1, and then you go into your third year. Third year has changed for as long as I can remember. I've been there for 10 years. We've had 6 different rotations. You do those for 8 weeks. That's what our students did. This year, we changed it. We have 7 different rotations now. They range from 4 to 8 weeks, depending on which rotation it is. In addition to those, we are giving you 3 2-week electives. So you can choose 3 different electives of different areas of medicine that you want more experience in during your 3rd year. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to make sure you're touching every area of medicine before you decide what type of physician you want to be. And that's what the 3rd year is all about. The 3rd year is exploration. You might come in thinking, oh, I've seen so many surgeries, I want to be a surgeon. Or I shadowed mostly a pediatrician, that's what I want to be. It's different when you're working it. When it's your responsibility. When you're writing notes, putting information in the EMR. When you're working with parents. It's different. And we want you to have those experiences, both inpatient and outpatient experiences, so you can decide, is this the type of medicine I want to practice? Okay. And then you finish your 3rd year, you go into your 4th year, and you're applying for residencies and working areas of medicine in that specific area of medicine that you want to practice. Now the 3rd year is interesting at Creighton. I talked about the change with our rotations, but we also have 2 clinical campuses. Okay. You can say in Omaha, we are part of a health group called CHI. We merged with them back in 2011, 2012. We used to be our own independent health group. We had our own hospital and our own clinics, and then we merged with CHI. Actually, it was Allegiant back then, and then they changed the name again once the merger was done. So now we're CHI Health Nebraska. We have 6 different hospitals in the metropolitan area. We had together tons of clinics, so there had been some consolidation. And so we finished some consolidation recently. We're down to 55 clinics. It was really fun to see a Creighton clinic and a Allegiant clinic right next to each other. And we're like, this just isn't going to work. So we consolidated a lot of clinics in Omaha. We're down to 55 in the metropolitan area. We're now consolidating hospitals because we own too many hospital beds in the city. We understand that. So we're closing our hospital, Creighton University Medical Center. And it's, most of our activity is being moved to Bergen Mercy, which is the flagship hospital for CHI in Omaha. Beautiful facility, and we're really excited about this move. In addition to that, we're building a new clinic right next to our campus where our family medicine residency program is going to move. So we're still being able to do outreach to a very disadvantaged population north of our campus, which is very important to us. Through this clinic, we're still be able to do that. So we're really excited about these changes. For you guys, what does this mean? Not much. Instead of rotating Creighton University Medical Center, you're not going to rotate there, you'll just rotate all the other CHI hospitals. And we do that now. Our students rotate at, and you might not know any of these names, but they rotate at Bergen, Emmanuel, Lakeside, Midlands, and Mercy or Red. Okay, so it's nothing new for our students. In addition, we also rotate at the Children's Hospital of Omaha, because we want you at a Children's Hospital for part of your PED rotation. And then we also rotate at the Veterans Affairs Hospital of Omaha too. So very diverse, robust clinical instruction in the 3rd year for your Omaha. Then we have a clinical campus in Phoenix, Arizona. It's at St. Joseph's Hospital Medical Center. That's the main hospital for you. And we also rotate at the Children's Hospital of Phoenix too, once again. For our pediatrics rotation, we want to make sure you have some of that at a Children's Hospital. So we have worked out that relationship with them. It's worked out really well for us. We've been doing this since 2012 was the first group to go down there. It's been wonderful. It's been a great relationship with St. Joe's. So we're excited about our Phoenix campus and what it offers our students. We do split the class. Okay. 42 students move down to Phoenix, the rest stay in Omaha. So you have those 2 different options. We do a lottery system for Phoenix, so after you're accepted, we ask you where you prefer to go. We'll do some visit days. We'll do a visit day in Phoenix, a visit day back in Omaha, so you can make a decision there. And then those who want to go to Phoenix, because since there's only 46 slots, we do a lottery system for that. And you'll know pretty early. Yep.
How many students generally select Phoenix over?
Great question. Great question. Okay, so historically, by the time April 15th rolls around, and April 30th is the deposit deadline, kind of like an undergrad guys have until May 1 to say where you want to go. Ours is April 30th. Okay. By April 15th, we usually have active about 320, 330 acceptances. Out of that number, usually about 100, 120 want to go to St. Joe's, want to go to Phoenix. So we do a lottery for that. The first 42 chosen, good to go. And then it starts to shrink because April 30th is the deposit deadline. Some of those students might decide to go to another school. And so we'll have to fill that with students from the alternate list. And that just goes all summer. We do have a lot of students who back out of Phoenix for a variety of reasons. Maybe they wanted at first, but then they decided, after looking at the logistics, because you have to move down there after you take step one, they don't want to do that. So they back out. So we just backfill with students from the alternate list based on your lottery number throughout the summer. And then that actually goes until the first year. Students have until the first semester of their second year to back out of Phoenix and stay in Omaha, and then we backfill. So that works out pretty well. So most students who want to have the opportunity to go to Phoenix have that option. If for some reason you're not able to go, you're not part of that lottery system, in the fourth year you have, you're not chosen through the lottery or through alternate status. In the fourth year we have elective credits both at Creighton and in Phoenix, and students can go back and forth. And we have a lot of that happening through the fourth year. So usually if you want to spend a lot of time down there in the fourth year, you can do that if you're an Omaha student. We have a lot of Phoenix students coming up to Omaha just because they haven't seen their friends for a year and they want to do that. It's the same curriculum, same electives, so you can do that pretty easily. Any questions? Other questions about our clinical campuses and how we have that set up? What? Yep.
Are most public schools still like that?
There are quite a few that have different clinical campuses. It just depends on the school itself. I think the only difference with ours is we're the one that has the furthest apart. Usually it's in the same state, or at least close by. But ours is a little further apart. So there's more of a movement. But you'll see like Michigan State has different clinical campuses. They actually have different campuses too. KU, University of Kansas set up that way. They have campus, their main campus in Kansas City, and then they have Wichita campus too. So there's multiple schools that have that set up. And they'll talk about it on their websites and Google through it. Other questions? So you've gone through your third year, you figure out what type of medicine you want to practice. You talk to our associate deans of student affairs, and he's going to sit down with you and talk about what type of residency you want to go into. And we help you with the application process for that. You go on your interviews throughout the fourth year. Match day happens in March, same day for everybody at the same time. You find out where you're doing your residency at, and then you start residency July 1. You graduate in May, start residency July 1. So it works out pretty well for our students. Now during that time, some things that you have to do in the curriculum. One, you have to take step 1, which is the first USMLE test used for licensure purposes. You'll take that the summer after your M2 year, and we'll help you prepare for that. You'll take step 2 during your fourth year. This is two-part test. One part is a physical exam test, and the other part is the written test. We'll help you prepare for that too. All of our physical exams at Creighton mirror the step 2 physical exams. Really use that exam environment no matter what you do. Questions about the first quick 4 years of the next? And this quick. Yep.
What about for a new PhD?
Sure.
How do those 8 years look?
Great question. We have a couple different dual programs. One's a PhD, and then I'll talk about the other dual degree programs too. So MD PhD is a little different. The first 2 years are pretty much the same. However, in the first year, the summer before the first year, you'll come early to Creighton. We usually want you there by July 1. And you're going to be starting to rotate through the different departments that we have on campus for the PhD program. So you get used to the different research that we have on campus and also the research mentors. Okay. During your academic year, you're taking, of course, the medical school curriculum, and then you also do a graduate seminar course. Once again, it helps you to get accustomed to the different research that we have on our campus. At the end of the M1 year, all students have the opportunity to do a research internship the summer after the M1 year. You have to apply for it, and the application really is just a formality. It's a way for us to figure out what type of research you've done in the past, what type of research we have on campus, and match you up with something similar if you don't have the same thing. And that works out really well. Students, for most of our students, it's just an option. MD PhD students, they have to do it. Okay. And then M2 year, once again, seminar course in addition to the MD program, and then you transfer over to the graduate school after you complete step 1. Okay. During the first year, we're trying to create a combo year. So some research, some more rotation through the different research opportunities we have on campus, in addition to mini rotations. So you might pop into a rotation for a couple weeks because we want to make sure that your clinical skills, you're still keeping those sharp before we completely take you away. Okay. You move back after the third year, you're in full deep in your research. And it depends on how long it takes you to do your research. And then after you're done with that part of the PhD program, you come back to school of medicine and finish up your last 2 years. Okay. We're estimating 7-8 years, depending on what your research is. Yes?
Do you know what percentage of students not in the MD PhD program that get into similar research institutions?
Sure. We have between 15 to 20 spots each year. And we usually have around 12 to 15 students applying to do it, so we fill our spots, you know? Yep. Yeah, so if you want to do it, once again, I said it's formality because it's not competitive per se, it's just an option for our students. Yep. Because there's other things going on this summer after that M1 year. You have research going on. We have a really strong service program that our students run called Project Hero, which allows them to do international service for around 4 to 6 weeks. If you do Project Hero, you can't do research because it's overlapping. So some students will do that instead. Some of our students now have the opportunity to go to the Dominican Republic and do medical service with Creighton students. So the DR program we call ILAT, Institute for Latin American Service, is really cool. We've been going to the DR since the 70s. And what happens is that during the summers, our medical students, our dental students, pharmacy, PTLT, nursing students all go down. Our faculty go down who want to go, and then also our alumni who want to be part of it go down. We also send undergrads and students from select high schools are able to apply to this program too. You live in the compound with the host family, and then we make clinics, and we do healthcare. It's very diverse because it's not just men, we have dental there too. PT, OT is very diverse. So you're working and doing some really good work right out there. So that's an option for you after your M1 year and also after your M3 year for you. So many different options, and then students can always do vacation. So if you're only summer off, other than that you're going year round, so someone will say, hey, I just want to go home and relax. Depending. Okay.
What other countries do you visit?
For DR is really the only one that's monitored and sanctioned by Creighton. Project Hero, which is a Creighton student-ran program, they range. Like last year, they went to Ghana. They usually go to Peru. A lot of times they go to India. It just depends on really, because it's student-ran, they'll have presentations from the M2s who went the year before for the M1s, and they'll talk about how they set their program. The M1s, a lot of our students have done international work, so they have contacts in different places, and they'll decide where they want to go, break up into groups, set up their program, and go there. We also have a couple different dual degree programs in addition to MD PhD, which are 5-year programs. The 2 major ones are an MD MBA program, and then the MD Master's of Science in Clinical Translational Research. Those are options for it. So yeah, most of the ones, and then we also have a Master's of Science in Healthcare Ethics is the 3rd option for you. And those are 5-year programs, first 2 years with your class, then you transfer to the graduate program, finish up your master's in a year, and then come back and finish up your master's. So you want a little more diversity in your curriculum. Other questions? Okay, let's talk about applications. And then we'll go to the websites. Okay. So profile of the current Creighton class. Science GPA, I like to show that, but 3.68, B+ average. That's kind of what we're looking for. We do still accept the old MCATs. If you took it in 2015, it's good until 2018. We keep it for 3 years. That helps out a little bit. That was our median for the current M1 class. And then the new MCAT, which I'm getting tons of questions on, of course. These are our new medians. So 127 in chemistry, bio, and psych, and then 126 in critical reasoning. Usually if you're scoring 126s, 127s or above, you're pretty competitive for admissions to Creighton. And those are our medians. We usually ask our students to have at least a 125 in each section to be competitive for interview and for acceptance. But these are our medians for last year. Then the breakdown, men over male and female. Usually we try to be as close to 50-50 as possible. We can do that because we can massage our acceptance list. This year we had a little more females withdraw from us, so the males won. Last year we had a lot more females than males, so it works out. It's kind of a nice difference for us. Okay. That's all on our website. And then the fun stuff. Yeah, application process. Okay, our requirements. We have both extracurricular activities, extracurricular requirements, and academic requirements. Academics are pretty basic. We're not looking at your lower level courses as requirements anymore. We know you have to take them for the MCAT. So you'll take Gen Chem in some form or fashion, organic chemistry, Gen Bio, and physics in some sort of fashion. All schools do it differently. We understand that, so we're trying to be more flexible. However, we had a meeting with our education planning committee. They're in charge of our curriculum. We had a meeting with them. We asked them, what courses do you want our students to have be more successful in the first year class? And we do call you freshmen. I'm sorry. It goes back to being called undergrads. Forgive me if I use that vernacular as we're talking it. And they said biochemistry, which is an easy one you need for the MCAT now. Simple. You'll take that. The hard one that we're having issues with is our advanced human or animal mammalian physiology course. We want an advanced physiology course where you study the systems of the body. That's important to us. That's what you're doing in medical school. You need to understand this. Let's hear it right now. You just need it. Okay? A nice macro view of the body, how the systems work. We also want stats because we found out a lot of students are coming without it, and you have to understand how to read research journals. If you understand what the numbers mean, you're far behind. So requiring stats. And then, of course, 2 courses in English. We want to make sure that you know how to read and write. And not read as in, I know how to read. It's more of reading quickly. Reading comprehension is what we're working on, and your writing skills. So I want you to have that background. In addition, we give preferences to students who have more advanced, upper level advanced chemistry and biology courses. So the stronger your science foundation, the more competitive you are for Creighton. Does that make sense? And then, of course, we ask for extracurricular activities. We're a Jesuit Catholic institution. Service to others is very important to us, so we make it a requirement that you have history service. All our students who service on campus, our faculty and staff all do service. It's just part of who we are at a different school. I'm pretty sure it's part of who you are at Point Loma too. It's just what we do. For you guys, it's easy. You'll have it on your file. But there's some schools where it might not be pushed as much, so students don't have it on their file. And sometimes they come to campus and they feel like they're forced to do service because everyone else does it. We don't want you to feel that way. We want to feel like you want to come. We really feel that service is a great way to give back. We feel medicine is a great service-oriented career for our students, so that's why we have it there. As listed, we also require physician shadowing experiences. We want you to research for career in medicine. Okay? And we want it done 2 different ways. Shadow physicians. It's not just, for us, shadowing is not just looking and watching and observing the patient-physician interaction during appointment. That's one piece of it. And that's not all what medicine is anymore. It never really has been. We want you to talk to the physician about different things that affect their career. Insurance. We all hear about insurance now. Definitely need to know about that. Okay, the business side of medicine is very important. They might be working for a health group and there's different requirements on them that they have to fulfill. You need to understand those pieces because that's what you're getting into. Okay? So you want to talk to the physicians, ask them questions, interview them. Hopefully they mentor you and explain these things to you, and that will give you a broader view and more realistic view of what it means to be a physician. Okay? Yep.
When it comes to a shadowing experience, would that be an official shadowing in the hospital with physician talking about these things, or could it also just be a conversation with them, maybe outside of the hospital?
Sure.
Within that context?
We like it to be in a clinical setting if possible, so you can actually see that physician-patient interaction too. But the talking, the mentoring, meeting for coffee, those type of things, we'll take that too as good information because you need that. And then lastly, we want you to be around patients. Our goal is to graduate strong clinicians. Okay? We want you to be a patient-centered clinician. So we want to be around patients. Make sure you're comfortable around patients. It's amazing how many students are not comfortable around patients. We want that. Okay. So those are our basic requirements. And actually, this is our holistic review. We're going through your file to see if you qualify for interview or acceptance. We're going to get your test score. We're going to look at your academic background. We don't look at the GPA like I listed up there. That means nothing to us. We look at your transcript. Because a 3.5 from one school is different than a 3.5 in another school. It also doesn't tell you how you achieve that 3.5. Did you start off really strong, then you went down, or vice versa? We have to figure that out. So we look at your transcript. We're looking at your specific grades for different courses. That's what we do. Okay. And then, of course, we're going through your AMCAS application, which I'll talk about in a second. We look at your experiences. Have you had SHAP? Have you had clinical experience? Do you have a history of serving others outside of medicine? Are you a leader on campus? Are you involved in different organizations? Do you have a well-rounded application? That's what we're looking at. And those are the things that we bring in for. We interview from August to March. It's a full day. We interview on Fridays and Saturdays in the fall semester, and then Fridays in the spring semester. You'll have a full day with us from 8 to 3 because it's also a recruiting day. We're trying to get you to come in. So during the interviews, you'll meet with 2 people, our current medical students, and also current faculty or alum or staff in school of medicine. We have one-on-one interviews that are each 30 minutes. They're open file, which means we have access to your application. We have some specific questions for you, but we really try to have a conversation with you. When interviews are done, you have ample opportunity to meet with our students during lunch and also during another seminar program during the afternoon. So what we tell students is when you come in, bring questions. We use those questions over and over and over again because we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures. We see things differently. So one student might answer your question one way, one student might answer that same question completely different. That's how they interpret it in their experience or training. And you want that information. Your goal is to decide, is this a place I can call home in 4 years? A lot of students always go, I just want to get into medical school. That's not your goal. Your goal is to find the best fit for you, that you're the best physician. If you just go to medical school, you go to a place that you hate, you're going to have a terrible 4 years, you will not become a great physician. You go to a place that you love, you're going to have a great 4 years, you'll become a great physician. That's your goal. Now there's multiple schools that can give that to you. You have to search those schools out. Okay. Question about that? Cool. Now the application process. This is fun. How many guys are applying right now? Okay. How many juniors applying next year? Oh, this is great. Sophomores? Good. Starting early. Love it. Freshmen? Awesome. This is awesome. This is good. Freshmen and sophomores. If you want to tune out, I understand. A couple hints for you guys. Freshmen and sophomores specifically. Juniors will get to you in a second. You're going to be involved in a lot of different organizations and clubs. Start logging those. Keep a spreadsheet or keep a sheet of paper. I was involved in this club. I had this leadership position. What you want to write down is, I was involved in this club. This is what they're known for because everyone at Point Lobo's going to know. We're not going to know in Omaha, Nebraska. And students do that all the time. I'm part of this club. I had this leadership position. And we're like, what's the club known for? What do they do? What did you do as a leader? They don't give us that information. We need it. So start logging that information down. No, don't use acronyms because we don't know what the acronym means. Okay? Use the full name. So that's something you guys can do right now. Of course, work on your shadowing, your clinical experience, so on and so forth, but keep track of your experiences. And write a little essay about that. Okay? Reflect on it. How is it helping you achieve your goals? Why did you do it? Is it something you have passion for? It could be anything. It could be you run marathons. It could be you like to ride your bike. You like to go surfing. I don't care. Why do you do it? Why do you have passion for it? Because you're spending your time doing this, and you choose to spend your time doing it, means you have a passion for it. Tell us why. And keep track of that. Okay? It's very helpful when you do your AMCAS application. Now, juniors. Next semester, you guys are going to start working and preparing for AMCAS application, which is a fun application process. You know, people are applying right now. It takes a little bit of time, but it's so worth it. And there's a couple places I want to highlight on your AMCAS application. If forgive me if I hear this over and over again from other people, but the more times you tell you, the more you take it, which is great. And I promise not to get on a soapbox either. AMCAS. You start off the AMCAS application, you actually can access it in May, the year prior to your enrolling. So if you're juniors, or it'll be at the end of May, you start, at the beginning of May, you start it. You can't submit it until June 1, so you have ample time to work on this application. On the AMCAS application, they ask for a lot of information. What institution did you go to? Did you go to another institution for summer school or study abroad? They want to know that. What high school you went to, family information. They ask a lot of stuff. And that all helps us as admissions officers in medical schools paint a picture of who you are. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, you're adding tons of context to the AMCAS application. Then you get to a couple of specific places. One is your experience section. As I was talking to freshmen and sophomores, you guys need to log what you've done. You get 15 different spots to tell us what you've done throughout your college career. And we want college information, not much high school. Okay, we kind of discount that. There's certain things we'll look at, but most of it we don't when it comes out of high school information, unless it bled over into college. Okay, so college experience. 15 different experiences. 3 of those are your most meaningful experiences. The way AMCAS has it set up is you can do, there's different categories ranging from shadowing, non-medical service, artistic endeavors, if you have a job, athletics, clubs, organizations, tons of different categories that you can choose from. You choose your top 15. You put them in. You don't just put them in like a resume. You write an essay on them. The essays are extremely important. Okay? Students actually think we don't read them, but we do. That's why I tell the freshmen and sophomores, don't use acronyms, because we don't know what that means. Tell us what the group is known for, what they do, because we don't know. And it might be something everyone in San Diego knows. If you're applying to the Midwest, you're applying to the East Coast, they have no idea. Okay, so you want as much detail as possible in your essay section. You're a leader. What are your responsibilities? How did this help you throughout your college career? What did you get out of it? Why did you choose to do this? We want that information. It's very important. I like to say the experience section is just as important as your personal statement. We know students take tons of time for personal statements. We want you to take time for your experience section. It's just as important. And the reason for it is you need to choose 15 different places. You need to tell us how you spent your time. How you spent your time tells us what your passion is. We have passion for. That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay? So take your time with it. If you need help with that, I'm pretty sure Dr. Sean can help you out with it, choosing different experiences, so on and so forth. We're more happy to help you out too, but take your time with that. I always say, once you're finished typing that piece out, of course, proofread, that's definitely important. You don't want any misspellings, grammatical errors, proofread, please. The second thing I always say is, send it to a family member or a friend who has never ever applied to medical school, doesn't understand the application process, so they can read through it. Because they'll ask, what does this mean? What does this mean? If they're asking that question, we're going to ask those questions. So you can get more detail. Okay? And that works out really well. Okay, on to the personal statement. You're going to get tons of help in your personal statement, and tons of ideas, and so on and so forth. We always say at Creighton, to keep it simple, and we want to know one thing. Why do you want to be a physician? If anything, it's in your personal statement. Make sure that question's answered. Okay? And that question's answered differently for everybody. It really is. Now, you will be asked this question during interview, and it's the hardest question for students to answer, because they're not prepared for it. They always go, can you read my personal statement? I'm like, yeah. But is that the reason? And they kind of flub through. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, I expected this. And my next question, this is a great thing to reflect on for your personal statement. You did undergrad for 4 years, and this is your goal after graduating from undergrad. You have to do med school for 4 more years. You have to do a residency, which on average is about 3 years. However, I have one of my students, he's awesome, from Texas. He's doing a neurosurgery residency. You know how long that is? 7 years. 7 years before you're actually seeing patients on your own. 7 years. That's like undergrad, that's med school and a normal residency together. Another 7 years. Why do you want to do this? What put you on this journey? What keeps you on this journey? When you're in renal, and you hate it in your second year, and you just can't wait for this class to get over, what are you going to go back to that keeps you going? Okay? Where you're on surgery, you didn't want to be a surgeon, you have to go through that rotation in medical school, you've been up forever, you've been standing forever on surgery, what's it keep you going? That's what we want to know. Okay? What's the reason why you're doing this? You should have a reason. Maybe there's multiple reasons. What's going to have, where you're going to fall back on that you can draw strength from to keep going on this journey? That's what we want to know. Okay? So I always ask that question, and then they have really good answers. I'm like, yeah, that's what you should put in your personal statement. Okay? So now I can't interview any of you guys. That's a little easier because you know my second question. You send in your AMCAS application after it's completed. Once again, you proofread everything. You send it in. It's processed, it's verified. Couple things on AMCAS. One big thing on AMCAS, I should say. On the AMCAS application, you will put in your transcript. What you want to do is request an official transcript from 111 and any other school, that any other undergraduate institution that you have credits from. You have to send those transcripts no matter what to AMCAS. They want an original transcript. So for instance, say you did dual credit. You're in high school, you took a course out of college, it was dual credit, you transfer that to Point Loma. AMCAS wants the original transcript from that original school, not the one from Point Loma for those credits. Okay. Say you did summer school at another school while you're here. AMCAS wants the original transcript from that school. Have those sets. For juniors, if you're applying next year, wait until all your scores are done here and are in before you send your transcript in for Point. Because we want as many grades on there as possible. Okay. List them just like they are on your transcript. AMCAS is going to get transcripts, verify that what you listed is correct, and then once it is, it's verified. Keep track of your emails because that's the only way AMCAS is going to contact you through email. Okay. That's verified. We get it. We do not do a pre-screening. Anyone who submits an AMCAS application to us is invited to submit a secondary. On the secondary invite email, we give you a lot of information about Creighton, who we are, application requirements, both courses, letters, and also experiences. So you can help kind of decide, is this really a good school that I want to apply to? Because it's another $95 fee for our secondary application. Okay. We usually get around 6,500 to 6,700 AMCAS applications each year. We usually around 4,500 to 4,600 secondaries. So students self-select themselves out of the pool, which is great, because they realize it's not a good fit. And that's what our goal is, to make sure you know we're a good fit or not. Okay. And then we review you. If you think you're a strong student, we'll invite you for interview, and the process works. Okay. Now, after an interview, you can be accepted or put in the alternates. At Creighton, we do not believe that an application is stagnant. We think it's always evolving. So we send updates. You can send updates before you get an interview, and we actually look at that information for interview purposes. You can send updates after your interview, and we look at that for acceptance purposes. So that helps us with the process. Because of this, we do not rank our alternate pools. The pool students are unranked because we allow updates. We ask alternates to contact us and tell them what the weakness was in their file. They can work on that weakness, change it, make it a strength by sending updates. And those are the students that we accept off the alternate list in the summer. So it works out pretty well for us. Question about our process. Cool. Academic year, August to December, January to May. So pretty quick. Yeah, it's a quick 4 years for you guys. It goes right away fast. Last thing to talk about. Any questions before we go to the last piece of the presentation? Okay, last thing. It's not the most fun piece, I'm sorry, but we have to talk about it. Costs. I know. Creighton right now, tuition and fees, just about $56,000, $57,000. We put in your cost of attendance, which includes living expenses, living expenses, supplies, which includes your medical equipment. Your medical equipment is supplied by Creighton. Your computer is supplied by Creighton. That's all in there. And then, of course, your Health insurance, if you want health insurance through Creighton, we have that set up. If not, say you can be on it with your parents. I definitely encourage you to be on it with your parents if you can. That would be great. We'll take that off. But everything together is about $79,000. Okay. Average debt from Creighton, I know, he's like, it's expensive. Average debt's between $210,000 for our students. Now, that's average, so for students above, students below. So yeah, we're a private school, it's a little more expensive. You're buying a really nice house. Well, in Omaha, you're buying a
What are your scholarship opportunities?
Good question. We have very few scholarship opportunities in the first year. Most of our scholarships are for returning students to reward them for doing well. But two big ones for our first year students. The first one is called our Magic Scholarship. It's a one-time award for $10,000. It's awarded to the top students in the acceptance pool based on academics and service, non-medical community service. So we look at both and award the Magic Scholarship to them. And then each year they can be looked at again for that scholarship based on their service and academic performance in college, in medical school. The other big one is our Medical Needs Diversity Scholarship. This one's a big one. It ranges from $5,000 to $20,000 a year. It's renewable for 4 years. It's awarded to students from disadvantaged populations. We have a broad definition for disadvantaged, and also students who don't have service for disadvantaged populations. So there's a true application for that one. After you're accepted, it'll pop up on your secondary application portal, encouraging you to apply. We have email encouraging you to apply too. And then we work to the strongest students in that application. Other than that, we have smaller scholarships, usually ranging between $1,000 to $10,000. They're usually annual scholarships, annual scholarships, 1-year scholarships for students based on their performance in medical school, both service and academics. Yeah, first, you had a question. Same one, okay, sorry.
What's the cost of the NUPHD?
Oh, good question. NUPHD, no cost. Everything's free. Yep. And then we'll also help you with stipend for your research, going to different conferences, so on and so forth. If you don't finish the MD-PhD program, there's a payback on your back. But you wouldn't pay back your graduate, you just pay back your medical school. Good question. Yes?
What are the different ways that MD students finance their whole education?
Yeah, the question is, how do students finance their education? Mostly they do it, for us, it's through FAFSA, they do it through federal loans. You get the Stanford unsubsidized, which will pay approximately $48,000 of it. Or no, that's right. And then Grad Plus Loan will pay the rest. So you can get loans for the total cost of attendance. Yeah. And of course, what we always say, even the day of interview, our financial aid coordinator comes in, and I won't give you her presentation because I could, but it'd take too long. We talk about financing your education. We talk about budgeting a lot. We talk about how to decrease your loan amount, aka maybe get a roommate, so you're not paying $1,000 for one bedroom, so you're paying $500 for a $1,000 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. Live a little further away from Creighton because our downtown is a little more expensive. Outside downtown is really inexpensive and very affordable. So we'll talk about things like that, different ways for you to lower that cost on the back end. The other thing is, I'll tell you right now, the application process is expensive. AMCAS has a fee. Secondaries cost, usually $95, $100. You have to, if you haven't bought one before, you're gonna buy a suit and some shoes. Little hit with the suit. Guys on the back, if it has like the little lapels in the back, cut the little strings. Come in, we're like, they cut strings. Ladies, same thing too. If you have a jacket, you might have some strings on it, cut them. Wear your suit beforehand so you know how it fits you. Ladies, don't wear it. Do not. I'm just giving you advice, you don't have to follow it on this one. Don't wear heels. You're gonna be walking all over. Wear some really comfortable pumps. Make sure they're broken in, so you don't have an issue of blisters the day of interview, and you're trying to do a tour, and we forget to bring our Band-Aids with us. So, pumps, comfortable shoes that are nice and classy, and you'll be fine. Because you're gonna be walking, they're gonna take you on tour. You see a lot of things. Watch the weather before you come out, so you know if it's gonna rain, if it's gonna snow, you're prepared for those different things. So little hints with the interview day. And that gets expensive, okay? Especially flying across the United States. I mean, if you're still here in school, you have to fly to Omaha to come interview. You You have to stay probably with our students, and it's $40 a night, so it's a little less expensive. Or you might stay in a hotel if you don't have family. It gets expensive. So the more money you can save up to pay for that process, or pay off that process before you get to medical school, is going to help you out with your goals. It's a little tidbit. Yep.
Is it common for med students to have a good job or not?
Good question. Great question. You're welcome. Is it common for medical students to have a job? You're not allowed to have a job. You're not. You don't have time for a job. It's a whole different environment when you're in medical school. Dental school's the same way. They don't allow jobs at all. So you're living off your looks or parent support. So, great question. Yes. Someone says so much. Yeah. That's also happening. Great question. So yeah, the big thing for you guys right now is save the money for the application process. No, you're fine. Other questions? Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is this brochure. This is our residency match brochure. Are you guys familiar with how the residency process works? No? Okay, it's so much fun. Your senior year is going to be like your senior year in undergrad all over again. You have to buy a seat, your seat doesn't fit in there. You have to buy new clothes. You're traveling all over the United States applying for residencies. Okay. It will help you with this process. So, in January, late January, you have to put your list in of places that you want to do your residencies at. Okay? So you rate this list based on the places that you interviewed, you rate them. And then those places put you into based on how they feel about you. And then a computer algorithm matches it. So you sign a letter saying wherever the U.S. says you're going to go, you'll go. And it's called the match process. It's almost like a draft. And it's fun. So the day of match, everybody at the same time in the United States, U.S. allopathic schools, Yale schools, they find out too. You find out where you're matched at, and we throw this big party. Everybody comes up, gets their envelope, they open it up, read it, yell, scream. It's fun. Parents are there, and then after that we throw this huge party on campus. It's just a lot of fun. This is our matches for last year. So outcome information. The different residencies that our students applied for, they got into, the different institutions that they're currently doing their residencies at. So their first year residents, again, first year students and where they're doing it. On the back is our 2015, just the different residencies our students got into. If you want to see more in-depth information, go to our website. We have a residency match right here. And we have it for the last 4 years. So you can look through there and see where our students have gone for residency. The cool thing is, I always get the question, do your students want to do primary care residencies? The answer is no. Do you encourage your students to do primary care? No. We tell our students, what do you want to do? What type of position do you want to do? Let's help you get it. You'll see our students do a lot of different things. A lot of things. And it's kind of fun. And they're really successful. And someone asked me, why are they so successful? Is it because of your school? Like, I don't think so. And probably crazy want to hear that. Our students work really hard. They're very supportive of each other. And because of that, they're very successful. They're very team-oriented. And residencies like that. They like that. Because they understand medicine is working in teams. That's important. So our students do very well. Yep.
So do the students get a say in where they get matched? Like, do they put, or the schools they get students for residency?
Yeah.
And then they just get matched at any one of those?
Yep, so what they'll do is they'll send a rank list into Eris, and the rank list is from 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth, 1 being your top choice. And then the residency programs do the same thing, and then it matches you. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And there's absolutely no change in the matches, right?
No. You can, sometimes students end up changing out residency because they found out that's not the best residency for them. But then they have to go through the match program all over again. Yep. Yep. That's why it's really important to, any school you go to, and this is a good question. She asked, can students change their residency? Or the place that they got matched at? And the answer is no for match. But if you get to a residency program that you don't like, you're like, I don't think I want this type of medicine. You'd have to go through match all over again. And that's why it's so important to use your resources at the school that you're at. They're doing academics, their student affairs office is there for you to help you figure out what type of medicine's the best fit for you. Okay? Use them. Don't go in preconceived notions that you're going to use something specific. If you're not going to do that, I'm pretty sure. Our students always change. And they'll do stuff that they never thought they'd like. But when you're working that type of medicine, it just clicks in your third year. And that's what the third year is all about, exploration. Now we're going to support you throughout the whole 4 years. We have academic success consultants on our campus. There's 2 of them that are going to help you with your study skills and your life study skills. When you get to medical school, sometimes you have to tweak your study skills. And they're there to help you with that. You might need a tutor. You probably never had a tutor before. That's okay. You might fail a test. Everybody fails a test. That's okay. And we're going to help you through those processes. Okay? And provide you the academic support so that you can gradually be a great physician. And it might be a tutor. It might be a TA. It might be going to see your faculty member or just going over your notes to make sure what they're saying in this class, you're getting the most important pieces so you're ready for the test. Okay? So we're going to provide you those support systems. Use them. The reason why we say this is because a lot of times medical students just haven't had these experiences, pre-med students haven't had these experiences before. You will have them in medical school. You want to make sure that you have the support system that's going to guide you through these experiences so you never know. You'll be fine. That's what we encourage you. And then we encourage you to have balance. We're a Catholic institution. We have a chaplain. Every school has their own chaplain. He does some great things for our medical students. But not all of our students are Catholic. Not all of our students are Christian. So we want to make sure that if you're practicing religion, you continue doing that. We help you find a church or a synagogue or a place of worship in Omaha so you can continue practicing. Service, of course, is easy. Tons of service opportunities for our students. Social events, as I mentioned before, athletics, theater, concerts in Omaha. You have to have that balance. Your mind, body, and spirit is important. So working on 3 of those. And we tell you over and over again, take time for yourself while you're in medical school. We do have fun while you're in medical school. People don't believe it, but we do. Especially in the 3rd year, they have tons. That's how it works out here. Any questions or topics I did not discuss that you guys are interested in today? I know I gave you a lot of information over the last hour. Things I didn't discuss that I didn't. Yep.
Just regarding like the failing exams and just like grades in terms of like your theory in medical school. Are you guys, I was talking with a friend that is in medical school right now, he's talking about pass near pass with different courses. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Cool. Is he at Creighton?
No, he's at the University of Virginia.
Cool. Yes. Yeah, there's different grade scales. Some schools give you a true grade, so A, B, C, or percentage points. And really what matters is what's on your transcript. On our transcript, it's going to be honors pass fail. On the back end, you do know your grade for the course. So if you got 93% for the course, 85%, whatever, you will know. But on your transcript, it's going to say honors pass fail. And passing is what you want. Usually passing about 80%. Depending on some courses, some harder courses might go down a little bit. It's usually about 80% passing. If you want honors in a course, and you honor a course, like in undergrad, you guys would honor a semester, get on the honor roll, so on and so forth. It's not like that in med school, it's by course. So you might be strong in molecular cellular biology, you might be weaker in pharmacology, and that's okay as long as you pass, that's all that matters. But if you're usually 93% or above in a course, you get honors for the course. That's how you see it in your transcript. I always get the question, does this affect residency placement? It does not. Residencies are very comfortable with this process. A lot of schools have honors passing. Very good question. Other question? Anything that I didn't discuss that you're thinking for me to discuss today?
No, she got it all.
Any final questions for you guys? Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time and listening to me talk for an hour. If you have private questions, I'm more than happy to answer those for you. I'll be here because I wait for my life. So, a friend of mine from the school will drop me off. We're going to hang out afterwards. So, feel free to ask questions if you have any.
We still have extra desserts in the back if you guys want to grab anything. Additionally, can I get everyone's attention real quick? Additionally, Dr. Chung is hosting a meeting, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, more to give the specifics on scheduling and what courses to take as a pre-med student in 3 or 4 years here. So thanks everybody for coming. Garland, thank you so much. And you'll stick around for a couple minutes if you have any questions for him. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.